And now they have the chance to prove to their country in their performance here in the Americas League. Furia and MIBR, I think one thing as well, call us Stat Stevens, but MIBR is 1 out of 4 games played on Pearl. That one win over at Crew. So it's not looking good. 25% win rate on this map. Furia picking right into it.
Well, they've gotten the opener. They've struggled at pistols. And they're up big here.
I think one thing I saw on stage leading into this, and we actually heard it as well, MIBR much more energized actually than Furia. It seemed like they came into this angry because during Super Week, they had the worst Super Week series of matches. 0-2 and only won total of 18 rounds.
18.
Over 4 maps, it's not looking good. So you have to expect the team that beat NRG in the week prior to come in with some fury.
This is going to be fury required from the defensive side here. They find themselves in a 2v4 post-plant.
He's exposed there.
Yep. Oh my gosh. He shouldn't have gotten away with that one. Khalil has shown up now. Got a little help. They've got some numbers, and they've got a couple of frags. But it's going to fall on MW to get the 1v2, and he cannot.
Good recovery there. It looked for a second like they might lose control once that flash went out, but nobody from Furia, neither MW or Khalil, swung with that. So a lot of contact on it, but nobody able to complete this situation. Good trades from MIBR, but also Furia getting very aggressive in middle as the defenders. And Sean was mentioning on the desk as well about how that defensive side with the old comp from Furia was really rough against Leviathan. See if that continues.
Holy aggression, bro. They just wanted to take this fight, main. It's now the second round in a row that we see Furia try to dictate the pace at the opening of the round.
And 2 interesting walls as well. A high tide, obviously, to control and push with that aggression that you were talking about, but the Viper wall as well, all focused towards A.
They had a flash over the top, too. There was a lot invested into this area of the map. But much like we saw in the previous round, it ends in a, mind you, this is because they had better guns, but it ends in another round win for MIBR.
Beta and Tashina spoke about the Brazilian casters, how MIBR was lacking in pistol rounds. And I think that definitely rings true, but a lot was lacking last week. So to see RGL get up there, and I think particularly Muriz, who is such a strong fragger for this team, and also the IGL. If he could start getting going, that seems to me would indicate a different MIBR than what we saw in Super Week. Still time to play, going straight into that cascade down B long to get a little bit of control. Skipping the Viper Orb. And it looks like we're gonna have a classic B long retake here by Furia. There's only 2 players here to receive. And with the Reckoning as well, they're gonna have to fall off the site.
Heat's already dashed backside too. The alarm bot is still up. They're finally getting cleared out.
There is a possibility of a smoke here if you can find it. They're running it down though.
Dash across, great crosshair placement. DG, the desk mentioned previously on the Neon, now on the Jet, looking to make a play. He cannot. Oh gosh! Oh no! They were all flashed.
And you're looking at a save situation here immediately from Furia. MIBR looking very nice off the get-go. FRZ with a massive round. I think when you watch the game against NRG where they got that upset win, and you watched a couple of their early brawls against Loud and so on, it was basically not just the story of Heat. I know he's a very important and pivotal member on this squad. At one point taking 38% of the opening duels for the team. It's everybody. Everybody was popping off. And FRZ in this case, I mean, playing around that jet smoke so well that Digizin used to, like you said, dash across to get past that map, but easily able to actually work with that smoke against them.
5-1 start for RGL, 5-1 start for FRZ, and a light buy for Furia. Just 2 Phantoms going into this next round. I don't know what she was saying. I'm sure it was important.
Trains leaving the station.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's interesting. They're not. Okay, the Cascade's a little bit later, but they've already lost Cubby.
Yeah, look at the setup. They actually have... Mazda has the Viper Maul. It's the VCT strat, the eco round. But nobody's swinging.
Not yet. Oh, they've cleared out Cubby, and they've taken care of MW. Well, they don't know that one's still here. Okay, that's one.
Only ever going to get a trade there just with
Yeah.
the Sheriff. And I think importantly there, Furia, I mean, with a really cool idea, really cool strat, Leviathan has been running that a lot by just throwing the molly in the back of map where we had that duel in the last round, and then swinging hard with it, causing the players on the attack to be all different positions than you're expecting. And this one hurts because you had 2 rifles engaged in this map. I'm surprised actually that you didn't have the majority of them with that hit, because if they did go for the B-long like they did, then all of a sudden you actually have firepower there to match them. This is a very good start from MIBR. I mean, already matching some of the maps that they've had last 2 matches, and just keep having to bring that back up because we have seen so many different MIBRs show up at lock-in, early on in Americas League, then in Super Week, then against NRG, like just a million versions.
That's the only gun they had left. They were trying to save the Phantom, and they couldn't even do that.
Trying to save it 2 rounds in a row, too.
Yeah.
And you actually do get like a little bit behind economically by saving a weapon compared to the rest of your team, especially if you don't win the next round. So he's going to be a little bit rough for wear after rebuying a rifle there. Still got all his util. But down to light armor, which is fine, generally speaking. But the Brazilian teams have actually not gone for the light armor strat, like the North American teams have.
Op in the hands of DG's in, too. He's playing backside right now, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any early contest, though.
Digizin has been struggling so far in these first 4 rounds. He's died 3 times first. Now he has the op in his hands. But he's posted in a direction that MIBR, they are a team that can pivot. They have shown the propensity to be able to do that. Back into mid, but I don't think that they're looking for a B hit here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Given their cascade.
Given the lockdown too, so you're looking at where FRZ is moving right now in A main. Is he gonna set up against this? But Khalil is here with that Vandal. If he can target down FRZ, that would be huge. Now he's gonna give up the site though. And Furia just rotated 4 away.
The lockdown you just mentioned finally being dropped. There's still some Killjoy utility they're gonna have to get through, courtesy of Khalil.
Look at the mid control still held by MIBR though. Uriz is still watching this double door reflank that Furia is actually going for. He's just made noise that he's fallen off though.
That timing could be disastrous. It is just Miri's holding that too.
This plan is so late.
Heat's already dropped, and you're giving up a good bit of secret. I mean, the wall's gone down now. There's that first kill.
Oh, they split up, Doug.
I still don't think they're going to be expecting a second, though. Mazin's got to be pacey, though. Man, he's got to go. He's got to take some space away here. There's the first onto him. Now position given away. Mazin just, I mean, he found so much value out of that.
Yeah, you're right. Muri has completely lost track of the possibility of a second there. And RGL was actually setting up to throw more Harbor util, so he was completely out of the play. Good round from Furia, but I honestly think MIBR kind of gifted that to them. That lockdown went down, and they had sight for so long, but they still waited till 12 seconds to get that plant down. Remember, there was only 1 player here. Khalil fell way off. Okay.
I don't even think I saw Heat.
Just a little sliver past the high tide. And there you see images of Carlao as well. The head coach for Fury, who's been unfortunately not here within the first 4 weeks for Furia, but they still got out to a good start. So he must be incredibly proud of his team for what they accomplished without him.
Dude, DG just ate that flash by himself, didn't even back up a ton, didn't get the dash ready. Hey, he's insane.
Poison's off.
Jets often try to cheat the dash so that they can have it later on in the round in more impactful positions. And there's the first duel between Heat and Digizin. And Digizin wins it out, but that's because he has that op online after the first couple of losses. And he's repositioned over towards A. This is a really nice way to play this for Furia. Still so much mid presence for them, and Mazin's in trouble though. And the team is not in place to reposition it, help him fast enough. That lockdown is great though from Khalil in backhaul.
Reckoning's gonna create some space.
They're pushing it. They think they have time, they do.
2 seconds, yeah, just a little over a second and a half left. Seekers are gonna clear out B-Link too. You've got Khalil in a decent spot to help once they're ready to pounce. Once they're ready to strike. 2 backside here, DG just waiting for the challenge long.
This time there's nobody in position to actually hold this. Remember the last time they went for this double flank? It got destroyed.
I mean, they're not playing for both lane utility either. MIBR is the only one with Amali's close, but they swing by themselves. MIBR is able to get the first. MW has to take a step back now. 3v3. The op is down. MW takes care of MIBR. A 2v2 as the spike ticks away. RGL having to hold the line now.
It's given up that it's not halved yet.
MW on the tap. 32 HP.
No time.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough. It's going to be close, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Maybe a second and a half left.
And again, these rounds on both sides are taking so long to get in position. And I think that they're critically, MIBR got the right pick on actually QCK, who was running down on that flank. He threw a cascade to block. He has knives too, not looking like he's going for any fast up traps or anything like that. Just right back into this. You've got to be careful here. MIBR might expect a light buy, but instead Fury's going for a full force with the light armor.
This is a deeper flasher out of JZZ2 to make sure they didn't get into the same fight that they got into a couple of rounds ago around Pillar. So they have the cascade blocking off backside, the flash behind Pillar, make sure there's no one around, and they can comfortably take the space and the orb.
There's a flank engagement at double doors happening as well right now. Ooh. And he made noise, so he's going for it. They didn't get in here because of the Reckoning. Khalil as well is swinging with it, and they get a spam kill.
And he died. He took so much damage on the entry. He's no longer around now, and the spike still isn't down. It's still not necessarily out on sight. This may be a very good hold by Furia.
Spike down B.
Always love seeing new skins in the game. UCK catching FRZ asleep.
A lot of people getting caught by unexpected angles here.
Yeah.
Especially MW on the player who pushed into B-Link there from the bottom side.
30 seconds left.
Samir is 1v4.
Toxin screen down.
Start. They're lined up here.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I saw it. They were lined up.
You did.
He had an opportunity to go for reset. I think still 15 seconds on that too.
Yeah.
Fury, I mean, making mistakes like that are going to make it really hard for them to get back into this game. And remember, this is their map pick. And switching comps as well. Back to something a little bit more favored in the meta.
I want to see you.
And this one is tough as well. A role swap too. Remember, Khalil was playing that Viper. Mazin was playing Breach to set up the Neon in the previous iteration of this.
It's a little late to be. Surprised he's still committed to the pit. I guess it's just off the cascade. That's just going to give MIBR a lot of info and a lot of time.
Probably setting up the Viper Orb in mid at the beginning of the round. So he's able to get back in time, and that does push MIBR off. They're not a team who will take fights through Viper pits super often.
MIBR back to that mid-aggression. And they've left MIBR by himself to see if he can get something cheeky.
Does he really want to lurk through here?
That Trailblazer's going to get a lot of info. I believe it just spotted one, but between that and then all of the bullets that you're hearing in art, you know that there's a hit this way. Bullets finally taking their time, but landing.
And the spam from MW too.
Poison orb
That
emitting.
Heat versus Digizin battle definitely labored. But
30
Digizin gets the
left.
better of it at the end and able to also follow up with another kill too and get away with his life. Locks up the round here. You definitely see what they were intending there. They're hoping for that Viper pit to drop. You're hoping for Mazin to rotate off when the hit comes through, and you can get a nasty flank timing.
10 seconds
One that's
left.
unexpected. A lot of the players on defense, when they're retaking A, they're paying attention to the sewers flank, but not the B flank. So it could have been a dangerous Thorn. But instead, they just get wiped out in art. And it's not like they were losing anything from not having Muriz there, but because he already committed his orb, he already committed his wall as well. Just more bodies in a sense.
Yeah, just another gun. Sure. Speaking of another gun, doesn't look like that'll be the case for Heat this time around. We are with a 2-round lead. Fury have won 3 of the last 4 here, and that's not with the op every single round like you were just talking about.
Also wasn't many key ults to be talking about in the next few rounds, so probably not a big factor, although Muriz has his.
Get out of my way.
So if they can get on the site, could be nice, but just getting aggro. Oh.
Spike down B.
I think he is heating up at this point, Doug. That's now 3 first kills for him, who he started out 3 first deaths in this game.
Yeah. Flipping the script for sure. RGL the first to take contact there and dying to DG. So numbers in favor of Fury again.
It's a nice shot through the wall, a little dink on Khalil.
Calling my bot.
Khalil has been very disciplined on this A side on this killjoy, falling all the way back in most instances. And I do like the discipline showed here from Furia. You get that first pick, Digizen's all the way back. Sometimes you might see him go for more, but now we're in a must-win position for them.
Here.
Yeah, Mazin the first to fall. Heat finding a little bit more value now. 4v4, they've gotten A. And they're gonna drop the pit. Really nothing to counter here as far as ults go for Furia.
Spike planted.
You do have the knives from Digizen, and he still has an updraft, but no dash, so
Here.
a possibility of a dive bomb into the pit. But you're right, no other tools, no seekers, nothing like that. MW one off of them, but you do have this big flank. I think he might high-tide it off. Yes, he just threw his cove down. So that turret not spotting right now.
He should have some time to think this through as well because the cove just lasts
the
so
seekers,
long if it
the
doesn't take
seekers.
damage. Oh, but they were wise to the flank. The timing was great.
Blinded.
That could have been disaster.
They're both 1 HP.
2v2.
Remaining.
Muri's left in a 1v1 now. He's
Time.
trying to talk. He's trying to stay alive, and he buys just enough time to secure the round.
That flank could have been so insanely good. But the pit enough. And also, MIBR with the foresight to pay attention to what was possible there on the flank. Yes, the turret was there, it was watching it, but they knew 2 possible smokes, 3 possible smokes on that turret. With the Jet, the Viper, and the Harbor as well. And it does make noise when it lands. So I'm curious if FRZ was actually able to hear that.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know how. It looked like he turned around at the very last second.
I would have loved to see that flank wait for the Seekers to actually engage. But I don't think you really knew that they were about to come up. MW got to spam through the smoke on you. Look at this aggro high tide. Normally this is to set up your Jet player, but Digizen is holding a main right now. And they just went for a little bit of exploration. And they realized they're going for that B control that MIBR has relied upon so much.
They're so concerned for the mid presence that even with the high tide there, they dropped a Trailblazer to make sure there's nobody coming.
And it was mostly a feint. They had 2 players still lurking in mid. So you knew the intention wasn't necessarily to commit past those walls on B. And now they've entered the mid round, swapping up JZZ's position towards A. So he's gonna throw a flash over here to try to get Digizen and some info. And he does spot him. Is that gonna be thinking that they're following up? Look at the cascade that just went up top mid. Is actually giving MW space to explore, so nobody moving on Furia.
The Reckoning confirms his suspicions. Mazin trying to spam into the Cloudburst, swings out, still takes 1, but that's all it is for now. 4v3 in favor of MIBR. The Reckoning still scaling people away. And now the Cove
Down. My ultimate
to
is
secure the
ult too.
land. Yeah. No flank this time.
He can put that down right now, yeah, if he wants to secure the round. Instead, they're gonna take this for the post plan. I think it's an okay decision. Cove already used from QCK.
Found them. Swarm grenade out.
little bit of additional safety, but we'll see if they try to
Oh, Ditch isn't up top.
min-max a little bit too much. The flash splash the wall. QCK scaling up into Cubby. Off the tap.
I mean, they've got to get going on this half.
They're still hanging on to it. Choose to save the lockdown,
Remaining.
and it falls down to a 1v1.
This might not be a great plant here. JCC's not aware yet. He has to swing really wide.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there was a second there.
Yeah. I mean, he was flirting with time, dude. That was really close.
No charges.
That's now, I think, 3 or 4 rounds where Fury on the retake are taking way too long, and nobody is committing to trying to get half, to pressure the attackers to make a play. And I think there, in that instance, you're liking the idea for them to actually fight on site because of how hard these post plants can be on Pearl, and how insistent MIBR are going for this B long control. But neither of them fighting and getting super value while they're playing in the Reckoning. That's the part that befuddles me a little bit.
DG used the blades at the beginning of the round, also has a shorty, which has been the cause of many an antic in the last couple of weeks. Thing is, they know, or they should have an idea. Yeah, he was just here in the previous round. This time some span to push him off the angle.
Poison's off.
Maybe he does have heal and get back up to max. And they're just doing basically the same thing they did in the mid round, but a little earlier and before the actual B pressure. There's no high tide here to really sell this by Mures.
Toxin screen
Kind of just doing the Khalil strat, looking for picks by himself. Is there a leak on this A site is what MIBR is asking for right now. It's the KJ ult again. Remember, he saved it last round. They still won it. And this is the anti-eek.
30 seconds left.
TG's here, though.
Oh, they think it's a fake.
I wonder if they're just going to want to funnel out. They dropped the Seekers as well. Investing a lot of ults into this. Into this round that they, in theory, should not lose. One weapon upgraded, and now they're going to be able to approach us from a couple of different angles.
Where's the pace, though?
But you're right, the flanks are too slow. Time is short. MW's dead.
They haven't even re-cleared Art up to this point, and they're losing more control on the site themselves. They're investing the lockdown.
Or they just, but they've lost.
Wait, they might be able to get on this, actually. There's no mollies. He might be able to stick here.
Remaining.
Half.
Area's clear.
He had to pull off.
He had one more teammate alive.
Yeah, maybe. Still felt like a Hail Mary call.
Yeah.
Last round in the half.
Scratching my head on that one. They definitely had major tools to win this next one. They had a 4v5. Yeah, they had advantage player-wise, but only one Vandal.
Turret out.
MIBR dominating this first half. The defensive woes for Furia continue. And I thought that was comp-based, Doug. I thought that was because of the breach, because of the neon, not able to actually have... They have stall, but not in the right ways. You can't really end up stalling the chokes against the Viper Harbor. But on attack side, I thought that comp was really good at actually negating some of the values of Viper Harbor on defense. But maybe it's a more systemic thing here.
Note the difference in where he stopped the cascade here. It's normally much further back. This time he stopped at pillar, and I think it was because of a deep flash out from MW that threatened early fight B long.
And there was also a high tide too. So definitely what they're considering. Digis isn't with the op. Just gonna swing here. Right after the jiggle, but he doesn't hit the shot and he gets dinked instead. That one's gonna cost him. Look how fast MIBR are at re-approaching back towards this B site. They just ran back through spawn, and you have to have mid control to be able to do that. And because they've conditioned so much, they have a free hit at this B site with the Reckoning again.
Yeah, it's really just Killjoy utility here, and it's not going to feel good, but Heat scales past it. Bazine's controlling the flank.
30 seconds left. Toxin screen down.
He still has a lot of space here, too. He's still got a chance for another. Yeah, they've wiped the floor with this. It's just RGL. Dancing around a Reckoning, trying to find space, and he cannot.
Didn't even need that KJ ult after all, so the defuse comes through and the half ends at 8-4. So Fury improve against that scoreline that they had at Leviathan.
I mean, really, this felt like it was secured because of
The considerations about the defense side and what she's saying about history. I mean, against Leviathan, they lost the first map. I think a lot of their wins, they lost the first map before clapping back. The problem here is this is their map pick, and I look towards Split. I look towards the ideas that they've had on Chamber on that, and scratch my head a little bit. I was a fan at first, but then Loud just ripped it apart.
Yeah, it looks cool until it doesn't work.
So they got to be focused on this, and I love this pistol. Instantly down B-Link with a cascade covering sewers, and
Khalil covering the flank.
MIBR has to fall off of it.
Are they going to clear him all the way? Are they that diligent? They are. That's insane.
But they spent a lot of time. That spike was planted already for 10 seconds before that fight. And they're pushing spawn here, but they're going to get pinched here, Doug. Doesn't matter if they get the control.
Well, I think the cascade from QCK bought so much time. They were scared to go
Oh, no! Good recovery again, but the heal doesn't come through. They didn't realize one player was still having.
Varys is on the tap now. That's all it is.
So much room for these two players to play down B long.
Yeah, they don't have any mollies or anything like that, or if they have, they've already been shot off.
Shit. Come
Yeah, time is low. Time is too low.
One enemy
Way
remaining.
too low.
Good attempt, but I think, like I said, on the first half for both of these sides, it's labored. It's so slow in considering these retakes and the post plans.
I think there were a couple things to go back to the time thing that you were just mentioning that really showed themselves there. There was the late clearing mid, right? There was the fact that they got cascaded off on Lynx, so they couldn't take the fight and spawn. The pinch that should have happened never came through. They took their time there, and then the just late fights. You're absolutely right, Paula.
Placing sentry.
The aggro in mid right now on the side of MIBR. No buy coming out, just a frenzy for Heat. And it's that same tide that we were talking about, giving space to the Jet usually, but here all three players involved, maybe all five are gonna join.
Deep flash, clear out. Turret dropped.
An adjustment you can make there if you're Fury is after seeing that, you could put that turret a little bit deeper. MW's getting really aggro.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's got help though. Confident in his comrades, make sure they can get the trade. Move on. QCK with 3 on the round.
And you still have even mid control from Zine too.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
Looks like he's going to want to hit a late flank into Art, assuming the round even takes that long. It's just 2 left for MIBR. Make that 1.
He's peeking by himself. Miri has had an opportunity potentially to start fighting from Flowers so he can get those early and close Spectre kills, but it's not going to work out. Furia do what they did to what MIBR did to them on that first half, converting the first 2. See if they can convert even the bonus. And when you consider that really good start that MIBR had, you actually think that this scoreline should be way worse, honestly. That last round pivotal for Fury at the end of the half. And I thought MW was getting really aggressive by himself, but no. QCK and Dig is in here. No chance. How do they approach this bonus? They do get the Reckoning online for QCK here, so they do have a power ult involved here. Even though they have the weaponry disadvantage, they have a big shot at this. And look at that little adjustment on the high side too. It's not something that you're gonna potentially catch in time if you're the player all the way in shop, but they're choosing to fight shop, keep it open. But all that aggression loses them the A side again. Digison gets in, and look at Khalil on the other side of the map too. That turret might go down.
You can tell FRZ has to stay. I think he just got contact and the turret got cleared out. That's just buying time again. FRZ feeling like he has to deal with what's happening B, but the hit's A, the spike's down.
And look at what that pressure does. They're not able to flood because people are falling back into it. So Fury is actually deciding to fall off of site. MIBR has to go and clear all this space. Look, the Cascade's coming down secret right now.
And the Trailblazer.
And you have 2 mollies here on the side of Mazin.
I mean, this was clinical from Furia, bro. Now you've got the Reckoning that they're going to have to navigate around.
They're saving. They're
What a
calling it
round.
quits. Even if they get the kill there, that's not enough of a mistake by Mures. He secured that round by breaking a single turret at an opportune time.
It's a nuance, man.
And that's the bonus. That's the bonus here for Furia. And it's all of a sudden 1 round difference between the two teams.
3 rounds in this half, 4 in a row if you go back to the previous half, and maybe the start of that was right, bro. I mean, the gap is gone.
Still a buy available here from MIBR, given the saved weapons. 4 saved. Just a Spectre on the side of Mures. And he's very aggro. They have a flash as well to help him out if he wants. But that early drop of the orb actually puts him in the Trailblazer, and there's no help all of a sudden.
So far up. It's another kill going in favor of Furia.
And look, JCT tried to get out there, but he's ahead of the high tide.
Yeah.
His teammate was there to help. And all of a sudden, this save force is going to actually potentially cascade into 5 rounds in a row for Furia.
When you're down like this, you feel like you've lost control of the situation. You've got to try. You feel the need to try to make a play. And Mures was so far up. Maybe try to couch rotates, get 1, maybe 2 if it's free, and swing the tides, but he's just not able to. He's cleared.
And MW, their former teammates of Mures, as early as last year, but even back to 2021. So you could tell there, maybe starting to get a read in terms of the personal battle between those two.
I believe it was Heat who mentioned it in the interview at the very beginning. They've known each other for a long time. They're friends. They've been teammates. They're in the same region, but they've never really played against each other. But I think you're right. Knowing, having that history, having that tendency and understanding each other very well could have been the difference there. As this round comes to a close, MIBR trying to save these 2 weapons that they have, and it seems like there's no danger of having lost them. Fury will get to 8, will be tied up once again.
Classic Pearl going on right now. But when you look at the economy of MIBR, this is why I'm saying this start
Make sure to follow
from
my
Fury
pack
could
in.
snowball
They'll
even
lead us
further
right to
because
the enemy.
yeah, they might be able to force again. But neither of those players who saved weapons can drop. So you're looking at a hero rifle situation by both of these. So you might get this
Turret out.
5-round start from Furia.
MIBR stacked pretty aggressively towards A. It looks like they may try to deny that space so that they can get the orb for Heat so he can have blades, because other than that, there's not a whole lot else for them to work with.
Yeah, you're right. That's what they're going for. Will that cost them the time? Again on the retake. Does Fury recognize they do get the information that that ult is now available, and they hear it popped? That might be the react into this B site.
FRZ's just on the other side of screens, and DG's gone above. I thought he was going to try to land up there.
I like that info peek and the spam as well, but look at Khalil's position. Look at Mazin as well.
My ult's ready.
They're still back there, and that's one of the Phantoms that they had. So still healthy, eventually falls, as does everything else. It's just the blades online now for Heat, and they're not around for long.
What a flash from MW too, as he thinks he has a gap to get in the backhaul. That timing perfect from the sky. And 5 in a row, actually 6 total in a row if you count the first half. Scoreline 2. And that one was perfect. I mean, they gave up so much space in mid, not only in mid, but also B long, and that's why you saw that.
Once again, a main control looks like will be the case for him. But by himself this time. They're going to want to fight for mid again.
I wonder how this
out
is
of
so
my way.
passive from Heat. It's the same flash cascade, but look, they put the turret in front of that high tide again. So they have info that they're not pushing, and they're walking
think
through
you'll
it, just
try it.
ignoring it entirely.
DG used his blades here. The Seekers, he's gotten into backside, but everything causing problems to Trailblazer. Beautiful combo.
And Mures has no space there to fight through.
That feels real bad, man. There's not a whole lot you can do against that.
I mean, every single player on MIBR there choked.
Ooh! Nice shout out from Heat. I thought he was done. I thought he was dead.
But they always have the option here to fall down B long. Because they have 2 players in B-Link right now. There's only 1 player on site, actually.
They're
chasing guns right now.
And Heat's op is so key here. Massive investment, and they don't have enough to reinvest.
I mean, it's beautiful. You never expect this. You never expect that the opposing side is calling your save before you call it.
Yep.
Mazin is in their heads. It's now, I mean, that was 3 attempts at a save in a row, so Furia, enough of that. That is ridiculous.
I mean, they're real busted now. Maybe a Marshall, maybe a Stinger.
And I was mentioning how you saw the player in B-Link there, Khalil, get 2 free kills. And that's because you have that B-Long pressure coming in, and then you have B-Link. So the guy who's fighting, that's Mures, who's trying to put those mollies, has no space. He's getting pinched on both sides. He can't even fall back into B-Link, so he has to just do the unforced, or the forced error there of just walking and fighting B-Long.
Yeah, he had no choice. Looks like Heat may get some of that early aggression and pressure this round. He's got a Marshall in hand. He's playing real far back.
I mean, that's just going to get covered by a wall, no?
Assuming they don't go dry. Well, it looks like they actually crossed without it.
Cross without it, but here it comes, and now he's up ahead. And this Trailblazer, it's going to be tough for him to fall back even. Stunned.
Taking a bite out of him.
They're not committing, actually. I think what you see right now is Mazin getting some information on that B site that they're rotating. So he calls it all the way back, and now he's actually uncertain. So the team is starting to slow down, but with 45 seconds.
Toxin screen down.
MIBR are the ones who are actually making the right read.
Yeah, it almost feels like Fury may have called that rotate off of A a little too early, but now they don't have much of a choice. And because time is low, MIBR have everyone here. They do have Furia, a couple of key ults that can help secure things like this lockdown that we've just seen them invest. Help them zone off a little bit.
And you think there might be a gap there, but MIBR wisely get off the site, away from those nanoswarms.
Turret to hold heaven. With 13 seconds left, they finally have to commit to the plan, and look at that, just sectioned off by the wall. Really no way for MIBR to fight back in this. They have to let it subside in DG. Yeah, that's brutal.
And there's nothing to save here, so they're just gonna send it into the meat grinder.
What are they waiting for? What's the cue? First swing out. It's a 1-for-1. And they use the Reckoning. Oh. We were due a shorty kill, weren't we? We were due a shorty kill.
And DG stands up across the stage and taunts them because MIBR, while they had energy coming into this, we saw it on the stage in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, they did.
We saw it in the first few rounds as well. It has been sucked out of them. And I think he's doing the right thing to rub it into. We look like we're seeing exactly the same MIBR from Super Week, despite the start.
Here.
The timeline really tells the whole story. But is there something MIBR can do to flip the script, to change the momentum?
Toxins going up.
Yeah, again, no timeouts here for MIBR. This is all in their hands now.
Toxin screen down.
Yeah, I'm so shocked that Heat with this op is not opping down B-Long and trying to catch Mazin. Yes, there's a lot of pressure down B-Long against the Jet op, but you can get up on top of the box, either box, to peek over the Viper wall. And he's just not doing that. It's so passive from them, and I think this time he's expecting a little bit of mid-pressure, but the mid-pressure has been more focused on B-Link than Art. So it's just an odd decision here. Will it end up costing them? He's still going to have potentially even an angle up on top of the smoke on the A side when it does come through. And potential a pick onto DJZin.
Nothing landing for him. Wisely, DG, he did take some damage, chooses not to re-peek that angle, so he takes a space that was previously vacated.
30 seconds left.
Crazy part is those two have only had 2 engagements against each other.
Yeah. No.
Wow!
Do this, bro. The alarm bot's gonna give it away, right? Okay. I thought for just a moment he was going to be able to slip the net.
I don't know why it took so long. 14 seconds. They got to get the plant. RGO can spam it. Is there a cove on
10
him?
seconds
Yes.
left.
Chooses to hold the weapon for now. Chooses to conceal his position too, and he gets 1-4, and they're challenging him. What? DG drops down on him, cleans him up. He getting one with the op,
Player standing.
and it's all on to Khalil. Great response from MIBR. There were lots of questions leading into that round, but they make it work.
And that's their first round in so many. Talking 7 rounds in a row for Furia. MIBR for the first 1.5. And even though he didn't find the success with that op early, he did end up getting a wall bang onto Digizin, who, I mean, what is this?
Bold. I respect it.
That's crazy. Excuse me, 8 in a row. Look at that. Just disgusting.
That's not a bad run. The nice thing is, if you're a fan of MIBR, they had an 8-4 lead at half, so yes, it's been disastrous in recent memory, but you still find yourself in this fight. You still have just the 2-round deficit you have to make up.
And they do use that high tide to get position for Heat, but it's again through Art, and it's again not finding anything early. When there's such pressure down below, you send your jet over this way.
And I wonder too, to kind of continue the conversation, I wonder how much of that is a byproduct of knowing that you're going into a Viper Harbor comp, and you go, well, there's really no way that we're going to find value, but given Jet's mobility, the fact that you can get up on those double boxes, like you said,
He's going to find a challenge.
At least try it. Mid also
Spike
works.
down mid.
They've lost the spike. They do
Placing
get
swamp
sewers
grenade.
control and B-Link control Furia with the op of their own.
Oh, he can't see it.
And Mures pops the ult too, which is not the most fantastic ult for denying the plant, but it is great for holding back site control.
Yeah.
But they've left A. Look at this.
Yeah.
There's nobody there right now.
And they've put a lot into controlling B. The pit, a cascade.
Poison's gone.
There we go.
Yep.
30 seconds left.
That 2-round deficit doesn't seem too bad right now. Heat getting another. Still hanging on to the op. And a freeze for Furia.
And this is actually getting scary for Furia now. To lose momentum like that, to lose it to Heat finding some momentum too, who
10
has
seconds
had a
left.
pretty decent game. All things considered. What I'm looking at is these ults. RGL's got his. Heat has his knives too. That Viper Pit will fall this round. But you saw how hard it was for him to find anything. He ran into that turret down belong. I think he was actually expecting to take a duel against Heat. But here, the first time Heat switches sides. So if that was last round, you could have seen those two go head to head. Instead, farming back up the orbs, realizing that they're not fully playing.
Get away. And I mean, Heat just fills the space.
That's nice, but they're avoiding him again. With that deep dog, that's not something that MIBR have done so far. So you kind of expect something to be followed up on. Lovely flash from JZZ over top of the roof. Gets the ping. Clears B-Link, but that's false info.
Confirming suspicions now.
Bomb down.
They're just going to dash out onto the site. It's just EG for now. And that Reckoning is going to cause problems. He was isolated, man. He had nowhere to go.
That's what I was saying. Another lovely plant denial here from MIBR based off of that Reckoning. I mean, they were all in
Player
position. They popped the mollies off the alarm bot. A second molly went in. Mures had his shorty as well to deal with any dash from Digizin. As soon as that Reckoning came on, you actually saw Furia decide to cancel the hit, but it was already too late.
DG was left as a lamb to the slaughter.
And now it's the opposite. Now Furia is the one saving. They've got a decent bank now. 3-round losses in a row is going to easily give them a bye here. But it will be the last.
10 seconds left.
Turret's destroyed.
Unless they turn out another round win. So MIBR actually have a chance right now to actually win the game. After what a streak Furia put on. To go on their own little run here. One thing is for certain, we're going the distance. All of regulation rounds will be played. Whether we come out a winner after regulation, yet to be determined. Look, 4 players here from MIBR. That Op's still here. He's on top of screens finally. He'll get the duel that I've been asking for so long.
Turns the flash, holds the line. Scalp spotted, not taken.
Jishin's the one who gets the first kill there, and he still has dash. He's playing really up front here.
Yeah, that's heat though. You know what you're getting with him.
Pop the knives.
Welcome to my world.
And DG's the first one there. QCK, it goes down. He still takes one, but it's traded right
down,
back.
B.
Now DG has the op. And it's not your typical attack position. In this post-plant situation, you should be able to find more value with it. Although the pit obscuring things, Maurice just challenges him and wins it out.
Where's the plants? Where's the plants?
And now there's an alarm bot further up. Finally gets cleared.
This pit has been down for like 30 seconds at this point.
They have backside control. They have everything. I think Fury are stuck here.
Toxin screen down.
This is the bed they've made.
Rounds not
MW
ready.
peeking out behind it, getting the kill. Another tap, another threat, another swing. No kill yet.
He's just moved up so far. You don't expect this if you're MIBR.
FRZ taking backside. A cascade.
I've got
This
your
has got to be big from
player
MW!
So has his secrets to play with.
Oh, Mazine is...
Can he get back in through the other side?
Toxins going up.
Does he want to? No, he's gonna drop it.
The tap, the swing, Mazine with the clutch!
You only thought that was close.
That round was insane!
I mean,
Match
so close.
One last push. Let's make
2v3. You thought Digits in back row, once he picked up that op, he was gonna close it out.
Yeah.
But instead, you have to rely on heroics from your IGL inside of that pit. I mean, how did MW get those seekers off? I thought he was dead for sure because there were so many obvious spots that he was gonna plant from. What a round.
And Miri's just freaking chatting his way into that op. Unreal.
Blinded.
What looked like it would be a map point for MIBR has quickly turned, and now it's Fury in the driver's seat. Still a buy from MIBR, though. The defensive side still with something to fight back with. Op in the hands of Heat, as usual, down long this time.
Patience from Furia so far. It's Khalil who's going to take the first engagement down. B-Link, the first real threat. MIBR being very proactive on this map, though, right now. The Trailblazer just came in through A. Remember, that's been setting up Heat so often. This time it's completely on the other side of the map. That's misdirection that might end up in a kill, but Fury is setting up for that double B-Link flank that we saw with such success.
Yeah, there's a turret here this time, though. As soon as the orb goes up, as soon as Viper utility denies the vision, you see they start to make their move down link. The turret now cleared.
Draws people over.
They've dropped the Reckoning, they've dropped the wall, they're fully committed to this. Oh gosh! DG's still alive.
30 seconds left.
That was insane. 5v3 here, Furia looking to put MIBR away.
Out.
Roller coaster of a map that it's been, and it's not done yet. The ride still
One
continues,
enemy remaining.
and it seems like it's coming to a stop. MIBR, just JZZ left. 1v4 turns into 1v3. Time a factor. Furia somehow close this map out and take a 1-0 series lead.
NRG, who doesn't go for the double duelist stuff, and then they lost to the double duelist of Crew. So we'll see how this goes. This one is very, very interesting.
Interesting thing that you mentioned there. Oh, well, never mind.
Nice
Mid
stun.
aggression. He's done hunting. Oh, but there were two! That felt like Heat, aggro, trying to make a play,
Yeah.
trying to go and set the pace, and Furia were ready for it, man.
One thing that these double duelist comps and double controller comps do a lot is that control and mid, so that's an attempt at punishing it, but instead you have an anti-call from Furia, and it's working out really well.
Great start. And it's only getting better. Just two left for MIBR. Muri's is weak.
Oh,
Hard kill. Stun.
Remaining.
brutal.
Spike down.
They're looking
A.
to put the finishing touches on what should be a flawless
What a good dash.
pistol round. Yeah, that's fun, bro. They're feeling that.
That was fun.
Dashing in order to create the pinch.
That was fun.
And I think MW knows whether it's fun to be had or not, he is so good on this raise. I mean, he's historically
Yeah.
been so good. That's where he started his career in Valorant. But on this map in particular, the only real chance he has to play it. And he's been the shining star for Fury in the maps that they've, the one map that they won of Split. He was a beast and actually making up for a lot of the missteps that Digizin was putting with the chamber. And I think one thing you're gonna see here is Digizin getting a little bit more loose with it since he's not tethered to the confines of his alarm bot or his TP, his rendezvous in it. In a sense, the Jet is just a better chamber in this case, just without the trip.
I think the prospect of a loose DG and a loose MW in a comfort role, and you talk about some of the history that he has on that agent, could be terrifying for MIBR.
And I think the nice part here for Fury as well, and some of their comp changes that they've made in the past, in the game against Cloud9, they had a major one where they come in and they actually look pretty decent. On Pearl, they just had a pretty major one. And now here, this one is, it feels major, but it's actually not. The Jet slots really well into the chamber position. It just misses that one trip, which most double duelist, double controller players are not playing with anyways.
I mean, there you saw what likely would have been the exact same engagement. Stays, takes a couple of shots, and then gets away to safety. DG still close by. He took a little bit of damage there. Rotating off, and there,
Oh
I
gosh,
mean,
he's in
everyone
trouble.
is here. Is he? Oh,
30 seconds left.
one drop. A little bit of help as they rotate back, but
enemy remaining.
there's a Spectre on one side, there's a Spectre on the other.
down A.
FRZ has been the only bright spot on a rough round otherwise.
I got the spike.
Digizin's in here anyways.
10 seconds left.
Astra
10 seconds
utility.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time not great. He's got to check every corner.
If he gets this kill, this is already a good, he's gonna get the plant too, which is not gonna matter. He's still gonna lose the round, but that's an ult orb, that's economy gains. That is a really good eco now from MIBR actually.
And it's really all FRZ.
I think it comes down to that jump down in ropes that yeah, MW got 2 there, but he was completely out of position, and that forces Furia to start making weird decisions, right? Because then they could pivot through ropes. They could go all the way over towards B, and you saw that a little bit of hesitance from Mazin to really take the duel and start pinching into ropes after MW dies. So we actually have a really weird buy here by Furia. The op in the heads of Digizin, but everybody else is saving. And he's not gonna have knives or anything like that. This is completely crazy.
It is bold, unconventional. Round 3 up after the rough second round that it was.
But they're still, I mean, it's still kind of bonusing. Digizin's not gonna be able to buy fully. But you're also thinking he might be able to save this one anyways, if they do end up losing the round.
Well, did you see a gun barrel?
I mean, with the finding the sky anyways, I don't think it's gonna matter too much.
Sure. Astra utility starting to go down.
Raze is tucked, MW's tucked in flowers here with a stinger. Oh, and the gravity well actually completely messes up that double satchel.
And they still haven't cleared him out. Look at him.
Oh gosh.
Spike
That
down
box
A.
has historically been such a problem for attacking teams.
What do you call it?
The discipline box.
The discipline box, man. It's apt.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue though.
Yeah, but I
Discipline
mean,
box.
it hurts. Somebody calls that the
Player
discipline
standing.
box and just moves around to
30 seconds left.
Previously it was FRZ who's the bright spot on the round. Now it's on RGL to try to make something out of a bit of a mess. And I think at best you save this weapon, perhaps.
I need a blocking vision.
Don't have very many options.
10 seconds left.
Nothing. What a start from Furia.
It's again the bonus round converted. We saw both converted on Pearl. And now here on a bonus, honestly, looking at the economy, there's no way that should have, unless Digizin got some early picks. I was not thinking that there was a real chance here, given the buy that actually came in. So now they're in a great spot. I mean, fantastic spot.
They're cruising. Still have that for DG. You've got full rifles and armor the rest of the way. Yeah, you're sitting fine, dude. QCK has 5,300 credits.
They put the wall over to this B side, and they're gonna throw the orb as well to lurk behind it.
Toxins going up.
could be a major threat. As long as MW and Khalil are here, and he stays holding that grab well, I don't think you can lurk up.
Now they're going to rotate off. In fact, the Viper wall's there. It's stationary. They're not going to be able to get back around it. Maybe they try to hit through heaven.
Now, we already saw how they actually were considering how to counter this orb and how you're playing in front of it if you're Furia. But they didn't do anything in that regard on this specific round, so they have to do it late in the round with 1 minute left. And it will pull MW off. Remember, that's the nade I was talking about. He used it already. Now they can end up using that wall and the orb to lurk out.
They've left Miri's mid, but MW's here as well.
Satchel out.
So his position's now given away. They are going to try to funnel out onto the site. Oh, that's free. That's so free. The gravity well, the molly, the hold. I mean, they never really made their way out of garage. It was so hard to do.
I remember what our Brazilian coworker said at the top of the day about Furia. Tashinya said, if they clean up these ecos, and in this case, we're talking about the anti-ecos. If they clean up the anti-ecos, things will go great. And I don't think either side has lost one so far. In this game, it's not really been a factor. But in prior games against Cloud9 last week, it was so devastating for Furia.
Oh, and I think to tell the story of both sides, the other thing the casters mentioned was MIBR's pistols. They've lost 2 of 3. So you see how both key spots have been addressed.
MW's deep down mid with the showstopper. They've just cleared an entire side of the map. Digizin and MW combined.
You should
Off of a gravity well, too. That was dope. Nothing spotted, though. Full side control, and off of that, they can rotate quickly back. Hey! Oh, I thought Mazine had one there for sure.
Love to lead it from QCK. Oh, he tried to pull out the shorty to insta-kill. But instead, they've got a difficult retake now ahead of them, even though they had early round success.
MW has to find some space. Heaven, too, off of Khalil on the flank. That was a clean snap from Heat. Yeah, they still haven't cleared out Miri's.
Is it planted for them? I think it might be planted for Heaven here. MW's gonna try to hold this while Digizin uses his smokes to go for half.
Just around the corner of the snap, and now he doesn't land the kill, but yep. Oh my gosh, he hadn't stopped moving!
He didn't let go of the A key!
That's a Phantom moment, yeah. yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love that idea from Furia to hold up top Heaven.
Yeah.
I should probably play some
I thought Digizin, I mean, the grav wall took him off of the first one. He had a second smoke to use, so he was...
Sorry, continue.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, bro, what can you do? You just kind of shake your head.
All right, Pit as well here now. Potentially from Muri's. And they're rushing down Digizin. He wouldn't have these escape tools last time. Now showstopper.
The fuse instantly extinguished. I mean, that throws brakes on the entire round.
Yeah, the 2 things I called out, the Viper's Pit and the showstopper. Key things to consider on this A site. And both of those players immediately gone at the beginning of the round. Digizin is starting to really farm. Particularly in that head-to-head matchup against Heat, who is so far struggling, like...
Not ready yet.
Struggling so hard on this map.
Yeah, I want to go back to the conversation we were having earlier around this Jet versus Chamber, right? Because you look at that situation,
oh, for sure.
And DG repositions off of the early aggression, the Trailblazer, and I think there was a Molly up tight. He has to reposition to where he's tethered.
Yeah.
Right? But having that freedom and the flexibility as Jet to go where you want, land that shot on the raise, secures the round.
His TP in that instance would have either been a Heaven, where he's safe and not a factor in fighting,
30 seconds
or it
left.
would have been backside A, where he's completely actually just a sitting duck against that showstopper.
Oh, yeah, he was done.
So it might be our call to save again. And looking at the stats, too, between the 2 duelists, I mean, the desk touched on how the performance went between the 2 of them on Pearl at the
10 seconds
between
left.
map segment. And now, you actually look at the head-to-head overall in the series, 8-3 for Digizin. 8-3 is significant.
That ain't bad.
And for Heat, I mean, every single duel you're losing, you're seeing him be less and less confident about going for these first engagements, about going for plays like that. And unfortunately, this composition asks that of him. He has to be that guy. There isn't a second spear like Furia has. And you have to start thinking, this is starting to slip right now. 5-1 is already an insane lead for a defensive side with a double duelist.
Yeah.
That one's a lot stronger than you would expect on attack, but it has gaps on defense. He just got stunned by his own Astra.
Poison's off.
Well, he's still taking the first engagements.
That's nice.
There's just been nothing to him, man. There's really been nothing to this attack side from MIBR.
Concealment.
They're still up on this smoke. Okay, Khalil is literally just watching it. That's such a great smoke that's been coming into the meta to block this heaven control out from the attack. It gives you so much room to work with as the players who are on site. And normally if you're playing on B, you get, I mean, if they take heaven, you have to hide behind pillar, you have to hide and just fall back into spawn, even push B main. You have room there with that smoke.
Obscuring vision.
This is interesting. An attempt to go at QCK, but as soon as they see that smoke, he just falls off and plays the bottom of stairs.
Oh, it's almost
30
the exact same
seconds
smoke
left.
you were talking about, just a little bit further out. This time from the attacking side, you're right, they want to pressure QCK, and,
One enemy
well,
remaining.
they can't.
20 seconds now. He might save the Vandal again. Will he get the chance? No, he's surrounded on all sides.
Nothing is free. And you see the little games there that they're playing. Even DG updrafting around the pillar to draw a bit of contact and then have a swing from his teammates. This just looks clinical from Furia, man.
What a difference. Couple of opponents. It's lovely to see.
You imagine how much, too, a breath of fresh air is having Carlisle on site with the team. And yeah, he was involved on the weeks that he was back home, but to have him here in person certainly isn't hurting things. 6-1 lead for Furia, op in the hands of DG, controlling mid-map, and they also dropped a pit A to deny that space and force them into B, where they have this brutal crossfire setup.
And they don't have the same wall that they used on that eco round. So those two players backside, they're gonna anchor. And Digizin's here as well. They have to get a smoke off on him, but he can even drop down if he wants. Here's the wall. They're ahead of this wall. The normal one that MIBR could throw.
You gotta be careful here if you're Khalil. I mean, to double satchel and a
I've got your
nade, you've got no
triumph.
mobility.
Scout destroyed.
It all just depends on when they decide to go. There it is.
Oh.
He's dead.
Here.
They gave it up.
Welcome to my world.
Well, it's looking to be a very nice round for MIBR. They
He's
have a
going for it,
cosmic
he's
divide in
going
the
for it.
pit, but they're fighting into it.
Shorty.
Oh dear, just on the other side. It's right there. The spike's not down.
Spike down.
They
B.
just sat in the pit and lost so much HP while waiting for that wall to fall.
Spike
Can they win
planted.
this 2v4 if you're Furia? MW is healthy, QCK is as well. No utility for the duelist. Ain't no real reason to say bye. You've got money for days, so they're gonna take a shot at this. QCK wrapping around. Oh, he may have found a timing. He may have found some space. That was gross. But the post plants are so clean out from MIBR. He gets 4. You had the Killjoy playing all the way back in garage. It was very safe.
You say something?
Well done. In this
Sorry.
situation, I
You're
actually thought the
still
setup
winning.
from Fury was quite good. I think a little bit of missed timing there from Khalil. You see he's actually in the middle of the animation where he's using his gravity well. Great round from Heat. Finally coming alive on this map.
4 kills in that round, totaling 6. Again, just kind of showing how the slow start that he had up until that point.
Not out of the bush yet. Back to this Viper wall on the B side. Muri has used this orb as well. But Digizin is literally above it. So if you end up trying to lurk through, you will just go down to that op immediately. Will they pull Digizin off before actually starting that lurk is the big question.
Can't imagine they try to split through this. What a What a madman. Decayed through the orb, swings out by himself to hold that. To challenge in a place where QCK can't really trade. And I guess he's rewarded for his aggression, though, as he's able to take a deeper, more aggressive line with that op. He still has dash. He still has 2 smokes. I thought he had a kill there, too.
Oh, he's pinched right now. The players are coming up into heaven. It's not fast enough for MIBR to capitalize on, though.
QCK and MW close by. MW's flash. They're waiting for the flood out. You're right. They're absolutely pinched. Can they deal with this? Now reinforcements arriving. They have support up in heaven with the flash with Mazine. I think they're going to be able to hold this back ball up. Well done from MIBR, though.
Spike is the one who has to cross, or they can plant in this corner. Just waiting for the spam! 20 seconds to recover it.
What a read.
But that time is going to be used for Khalil to actually get in position. They're going to plant safe. Does he have a pull? Yes, he does.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
Time is short now. Ooh, they're waiting. They're waiting a real long time here.
Player standing.
FRZ.
He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time.
He pulled off.
He pulled off.
He pulled off.
Last player standing.
That's devastating. He got off because of the pressure from heaven, that turret. And I mean, he must have. I can't imagine that's the decision. I think maybe a misclick, maybe an accidental scroll wheel or something like that. That hurts.
I mean, that was the round.
Credit to Khalil, though, having that grab well, getting this first pull off as time was coming close to that plant. And things exchanged across stage there. Questions asked by Furia. Oh no. It's falling apart now. He's peeking ahead of the Trailblazer, gives the kill to Digizin easily. And remember, he was the guy who was coming online for this team. Continuing to lose this duel against his biggest foe currently.
What a mess this has become.
They can cast.
You talk about swing rounds or momentum rounds, losing that previous round and then getting the opener for DG just a couple of moments later. It just feels like we're talking raps, but MIBR still have a chance to make this have something competitive here.
I mean, despite all these trades, it's still advantage for Fury. Digizin's gonna try to get out here, yep. Well done, but gives up the sight.
Lives to fight another day, though, with that op.
And look at this. There's a triple-pronged retake coming in here with MW on the flank as well. So they're going to have a main control. They're going to realize the situation. Both players are going to be stuck here. And Dish isn't even controlling spawn, too. They know there's no room for these MIBR players to move. 2 stars, too, for Khalil.
Concussing him.
Money's interesting here. They want to go for it. And they're not being quiet about it. That's a massive kill. Yeah, that's another in favor of Furia.
And again, it's just such really nice tactics. Little tactics to close out these rounds. Or MW's just satcheling over, making sure that he's focused on him. If you don't focus on him, you're dead. And if you do focus on him, you're dead to the other guys. And to bring it back to this fight right here, Heat swinging ahead of the Trailblazer before it clears the op off that angle. That's what the Trailblazers intended to do. So, scratch my head about that one, but to continue to speak about the performance, Heat is now 2-6. First kills to first deaths. I mean, he is struggling against Digizin players. It's not something that they rely on, so I actually don't know how they'll play the double duelist on attack, but either way, oh, he's into mid. He already got a tag. Wow.
Dude, I mean,
he spent so much time there.
Yeah.
Dancing with the stun.
Boy, he waits until the very last second. Well, the timeout didn't change much.
Yeah. I mean, they're really expecting that ropes is going to end up being clear there, so that's a good little play from Furia.
Poison's off.
But again, the discipline lacking here from MIBR. And when they have an idea in the call, it's just not considering all the possible outcomes.
Yep.
So oftentimes Miriz comes up with a pretty good starting idea, but not able to really carry it over the line.
Yeah, the execution just feels a little sloppy, right? I think about that. I think once again about Heat peeking ahead of the Trailblazer.
And it leaves him in instances like this where the mid round is, I mean, it's so difficult. 4v3.
Yeah.
Look at the way that they're playing this. They're trying to recontrol and hold ramp, but they just don't have the manpower advantage to do that. It's one of the only ways you can really secure this round, but you see how it immediately backfires.
Meanwhile, Fury are playing everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Re-clearing ramp and having two to re-clear ramp, so you have someone who can help trade instead of just doing one on your own. It's these little things that are piling up in such a massive way.
And now you ask a 1v3 on a must-win round, 21 HP with a Spectre and no stars to work with. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know that even luck was going to be enough for that. Another shorty kill, another round for Furia, and just more questions for MIBR. And again, no timeouts.
Yeah.
Bazooka can't
Last
say
round
anything. I
before
mean,
the
he's
split.
done. It's just all up to the guys at this point. Although, truth be told, that hadn't made a difference in the past either, so.
These clutches low HP are going to be continue to get harder and harder and harder.
Yep.
With the fact that you teammates can call out the HP and the shorty in the meta as it is. It's really the beginning of a new era. Pit dropped plenty of ults to carry this over the line for Fury to end up with a 10-2. Avoid the curse.
Here.
Flash to push Digis in off the angle, and it does do that.
Toxins going up.
But they're not able to really follow up on it. And Digizin has been floating, so it's not guaranteed that that's even him in this instance. So cautious.
You should run.
Drop.
The thing that's always so difficult about this KJ ult in B is how do you follow up and clear the back of sight?
Yeah, it's got to be mollies. It's good night. Okay.
I mean, double updraft and nade too. They're gonna run through a Viper Orb with decay.
Whoa! Ran out of room. Uh-oh.
I've got your trail.
That Viper wall, I mean, that Astral wall is so
Healing over
deep
here.
so that they can try to wrap around sight, but again, slight misexecution. But it does give RGL this pocket here. And spawn control, they've got a chance. Look at the flank though, if they wait for this flank, it's over.
Yeah, I think you just have too many things you have to deal with here. And not enough numbers to address it all.
Last player standing.
I mean, just even overwhelming one. You haven't even dealt with the flank. You don't even know what's coming. RGL with the first and
Love it.
surprise. Yeah, there's another.
I mean, QCK literally a human drone there. Just running ahead of his teammate.
Whew.
That is a dominant half. I mean, after we saw him Pearl, you kind of
Switching sides.
expected. You see the difference, right? MIBR's mid-round, how difficult it is for them to approach because of slight mis-executions and then how tough that is to follow up on. For Furia, the calls are great. And the execution is great where they end up in advantage consistently through the mid-round.
Battle out.
Now they have to do it on the attack, though. And here's the first instance of the double dive for Furia.
And they go fast.
Very standard.
And you know, maybe no need to reinvent the wheel, but MIBR making a run at
Player
this.
standing.
QCK is left
Spike
alone.
down, B.
He was all the way on the opposite side of the map.
Whoa.
No way, bro.
They don't hear that. I think FRZ might have heard him run away at the first instance. Yeah, he's reading it. He's reading it. And Heat's already looking at spawn, so they know what's going on. They must have heard him.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Cool idea, though. But you're right. Unlucky. Now the second pistol of the series going in favor of MIBR. But honestly, still so many other things they have to shore up.
And the time they have to do so is minimal.
Spike no chão, B.
Very, very minimal.
All dead?
Split is not as swingy as it once was, especially given the meta as it stands in this double duelist comp. But I mean, Sean was very hopeful about the adjustments that they're going to make with this comp and the plan that they're going to have with the comp, given what we saw in defense. But I think it's much harder to actually activate the proper protocols and have the procedures in place for the attack side, even though it feels standard.
Poison aboard.
Oh, there's a judge on the other side. They've tried testing the waters a couple of different ways, and he realizes, yeah, he's got
Spike
a
down
feast
mid.
before him. Oh, he's going aggressive, is he?
Enemy remaining.
He is.
Flawless.
Gotta pad those stats a little bit, right? Flawless round for MIBR.
6-round gap. Pistol round to start was very good. But they need to convert the bonus. They absolutely need to. Every single bonus has been converted so far in the series, which is pretty rare.
That's crazy.
But let's see if this one does, because it might be the most important. If not for this, probably looking at a 2-0 for Furia.
Yeah.
And Fury is actually going light armor here, which is very interesting. It feels like at some point that shifted on Pearl, where they just all of a sudden out of a timeout started going light armor, and I think it's been working out for them quite well.
Remember the first time we saw this 4-man hit B, there was double dive, there was satchels, there was dashes, but it was standard, as you said. I think it's exactly the word you used to describe it. Do they throw a different wrinkle into things here? Yeah, this one's a bit more cautious. Meanwhile, QCK looking to find a little bit of space. He does. Dude, he...
Poison aboard.
I mean, good try, I guess. With the judge up close, what can you do with that?
Yeah.
You have to get up close. You have to hope for the reaction to be able to cover. And the mid round has been called for MIBR. Just stack over towards A with the kill that QCK just got. Which means giving up B entirely. And even if he dies here, he's going to be able to have the call. That 3 have pushed heaven. And he's made it anyways. Stars coming in right now for Fury. The executes on the B side, and
30 seconds
unfortunately
left.
MIBR are not going to convert that much needed bonus.
Well, hang on now.
I have the spike.
Hang on now. They're still alive. They still have 3.
The sad part is they can't even hear the spike being
Yeah.
planted.
Spike planted.
I mean, that's 10 seconds off the clock on the retake already. Just 3 Spectres here, Doug.
But all right, now they know. Right? And now they're now they're gonna go fast B, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're even struggling with the decision whether to go for it or not, but you definitely just try to get some guns here. Look at QCK. He's got read on mid, flash into B. They know there's nobody flanking. There's a triple stack on the B side if they end up coming through heaven.
Well, yeah, maybe they're not gonna win the bonus. Maybe you were right. Maybe you were right.
Unfortunate. Just gonna die to the spike now. But it's a bonus, so
It's all good.
I'm saying it's a must-win. Realistically, it is, but realistically it is, but there's still a gun round here now for MIBR. I say that because you're looking for the streaks, right? You're looking to start to accrue 4 rounds in a row, that sort of thing, so you can cut that lead down and make it mentally much easier to grasp.
Still light armor for Furia, full rifles. And we'll see the first time they want to send a bit more A 1-1-3 setup. We haven't really seen.
I mean, risky from Urias. That's a late call causing him to actually want to go into a setup where he's in ropes, but he has to cross because of the barrier instead, rather than starting over there. Which is funny because he put down the wall, which could have been placed from this side. Doesn't cost him his life though.
No. FRZ needed to stay alive here. He's got an alarm bot just on the other side of the swiper wall to make sure that there's no one trying to default through and reestablish mid-map control.
I mean, Digison has just gotten all the way through heaven, and yes, there's players inside of rope, but now the big threat is on spawn, on the screen player who's trying to watch it.
This looks like it's going to be a mess again.
Leave us.
MW tried timing a finding. Whoa! That's not how you say that, by the way. Stays alive now. They've established heaven control. They're going to get out onto B. There are only 2 members left for MIBR.
Running and following up the dog through the smoke. gets him that screen control that he wanted.
He gets info. Turret's cleared. And look at this, they're just waiting on the other side of the smoke and spawn. They waited so long, and fortunately, FRZ gets 3 massive kills. But that could have been so bad.
Swipe those biometrics.
I mean, I love that round from MIBR. I think Furia, yeah, sure, they were slow to clear back through that smoke, but the anchors who were on the site, they used the assist smoke that is so common to help you pivot around the back of site, but JZZ actually used it to stay on the plant spot, which gave all the room in the world for FRZ to make this play.
Down A. 1 enemy remaining.
Because he knows one teammate's going to be left alone close and almost guaranteed a kill. I do like as well from Fury there, mauling inside that smoke, causing JZZ to swing. Either way, fantastic response. 6 more to go, though. I think it's time to start counting, maybe.
No. 1 more, and then we can start counting.
Blocking sight.
There's nobody here. And the site is cleared super fast. Now, question is, can they get the 7 plants off?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a yes, but I mean, with this lockdown now, too, I'm wondering exactly how you want to play this. He just pit inside, can get back sight and get back into the pit.
But I think they know. Yeah, they knew. They were pinging that spot right at the beginning, and QCK's dead. The pit's now down, but the spike was planted. Oh, dear.
And this fight, I mean, this is everything. If he recontrols heaven, he does.
Dude,
all of a sudden, they can play from it.
How?
Last player standing.
How have they won this round? FRZ once again is going to have to be a hero, man. He got 4 in the previous round, and they're just toying with him now. DG's in. Felt the wrath. I mean, that's a sideshow flash. Like, we've seen that. And he still gets a kill.
Blinding on all sides. Just like the pace from Fury. I mean, all the way into sight. Instantly, and they found there was nobody there. It was a full stack.
Yeah.
Elsewhere on the map. I thought there was definitely a possibility of a fast flood. That just didn't come through.
Dude, they even played well around the pit, right? They had the lockdown. They knew the gap in the lockdown. They had everything right. Right, well, now Fury are 1 map away from closing up the series.
1 round away.
Yeah, right, sorry. A far cry from the first map.
That was close. I thought the battle for 2nd place in Brazil might actually be a toss-up. Might actually be a tie after that first map. But in fact, MIBR's pick here has backfired on them in ways they're hard to continue to say. This Jet pick has been phenomenal.
He's so patient, bro. Play. Well, okay. He got his, though.
Right click.
Unlucky. JZZ with 2 big kills. Now Seekers. Plenty of time left. JZZ might do this one on his own.
Down A.
Just as we call his name, QCK puts it out.
And now that problem that you mentioned a couple rounds ago, that's a Viper Orb actually up in heaven, and they're scared to go through it, given the possibility of a lurk. Oh my goodness, they're going for the reflank. What a read by Mazin and the 2 players alive right now.
Is that enough of a cue?
I think they might have left sight and not picked up the spike.
Yeah, they haven't seen it, have they?
Look at this reflank that's going to come through as the spike goes to get planted. They're going to think they have a 2v1 on site,
I have this spike.
which they might very well.
There's the ult from Heat, though. Oh, dear.
Spike planted. 1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, it felt a little slow out from QCK in that swing. I thought maybe he gets a timing once focus is drawn towards the spike plant, but no. MIBR get to 6. I have to call this out again. Maybe I'm being a Debbie Downer. I don't know. But once again, it's taking 3Ks, 4Ks out from the anchors on the site to get them into winnable positions. Right? It's not even like they get those and now they're up 4-1 in a round. They just have to get 1 left. It's labored.
Spike plantada. Resta inimigo.
I mean, on top of that, too, I definitely think Fury comp that MIBR is running, especially with the KJ, still remains and maintains some of that defensive sidedness of split.
Blinded.
Light buy for Fury here. A frenzy for DG. And a stinger for MW.
Blocking bit
And it's really just one rifle in the hands of Mazine.
Yeah, seeing that frenzy is going to be a sigh of relief for MIBR. They don't have to withstand a force here. But then again, it puts the added pressure if we can't lose on this round.
Yeah.
Oh. The rotate from here is caught because they completely ignore the mid control here. So that's what I was talking about. Start pressing on the other sides of the map. Furia instead opts to use the pressure that they're getting by this A ramp control. And that's them a kill elsewhere. FRZ has full information about where MW is right now and what the hit is coming on.
And you can see it. He's got the crosshair trained.
Enemy down.
Are they pushing the wall?
One enemy remaining.
I mean,
They're trying.
Okay.
They're trying. I mean, he is on the opposite side of the wall here, so if he were to go for the plant, they wouldn't hear it.
30 seconds
now.
left.
JCZ peeks to the other side. How does Mazine do this? He gets it down to a 1v2. JCZ's really weak as well.
He's one off Seekers. He's going to get it with the plant if they allow it.
And it looks like they will.
They're swinging with the flash, though. No chance to get out of this.
Planted.
It was a
Miles
fake
ready.
flash? Either way, JCZ gets that kill. And MIBR get to 7.
That was expensive, though.
It wasn't cheap.
For that Fury Eco, I mean, that was very, very expensive. And now he didn't pop those Seekers. He didn't go for the win there. I think that's a wise choice. Now they can use it for the execute, add a third dive in a sense for the double dive of MW and Digizin. But there's definitely some life here in the MIBR players. JCZ, FRZ, the anchors on that A side, finding a lot of value now. Here's where the Fury starts to pull on other sides of the map, though. We just saw a little bit of that in that eco. And now, going into some mid control.
Where if Murius finds an opener, he can get the pit. Whoa. Dog, that is bold.
Jiggling to find the timing for when to put up that orb. And they reposition into a crossfire here in ropes because Fury has not dove past it. And look at this aggression here by the A anchors that we keep mentioning. Allows them to float. So the adjustments out of that timeout are still working on the rest of this map. QCK is going to try to duel against FRZ right now at the top of ramp.
He got across.
They heard everything about the Sewers players, but this is a fake right now.
Destroyed.
This is irrelevant.
Deep flash. Fake from FRZ though. I mean, they're fully selling out onto this fake. They invested the Seekers here as well.
Oh, but they didn't smoke spawn, so he's got the angle right now. But it's still pulling the rotations right now. This is a beautiful round from Furia.
But it's got to be faster, or else MIBR are going to be able to rotate back. Look, they're already
30
sending
seconds
2
left.
back towards B.
Lost mail control, though. So MW has room to work as this plant goes in.
I imagine he's going to want to be patient, too, to control the flank. He hears the flash. He knows they're coming as DGZin is taking the space as well. The satchel, the kill. A second, too, and he realizes where the pressure's coming from. Eventually, MW dealt with.
The triple reflank, though, here. Digizin too. There's no chance you expect it.
No, there is absolutely no shot.
It's not planted for him.
Yeah, but the kills are going to be for him. Yeah. Now they know. And now it's cleaned up. DG with 3 and a series win for Furia.
Let's go.
Must-win instance for Furia.